Tell me if this sounds familiar. It's almost November, and for the past few months you've been bombarded by the Republican and Democrat parties, both of whom seem to scream and shout for your vote. Neither candidate really seems like the kind of person you would want in office. Both parties discuss things that seem reasonable, but the rest of their platform makes you sick to your stomach. And judging by the past, once they're in office, the candidates probably will forget the promises they made during the election. Is the best path really to vote for the lesser of two evils? Hi, my name is Jason Millis, and today I will be discussing why you should support third-party candidates in elections in the United States. By the end of this speech, you should be more inclined to vote for third-party candidates in future elections. Voting for third-party candidates can restore the values of the American people within the United States government and end the back-and-forth stall of progress the bipartisan system has created. You should care about this topic because the actions of the government affect everyone within the United States. And voting in elections is a right and a privilege of American citizens. To begin, let's talk about the problem with the two-party system. The Democrats and Republicans are in a constant struggle for power, and this ultimately keeps things from getting done. Just think back a few months ago to the height of the COVID pandemic. All over the country, people were struggling under COVID restrictions. This struggle for power slowed the release of the stimulus package and prolonged the struggling of many, many American families. And even when something does get done, once the opposing party gets elected, they often reverse policies passed by previous administrations. The Trump administration reversed many environmental civil rights policies passed under President Obama, who in his terms overturned a multitude of Bush administration policies in just his 100 days of office, as highlighted in a 2009 ABC News article. Beyond the stalling the bickering of these two parties creates, the establishment no longer seems to serve the American people. In voting for one of these parties, one finds themselves sacrificing their beliefs to vote for one party over the other. Say you believe that capital punishment and abortion are wrongfully taking another person's life. Who do you vote for in elections? Do you vote for the Republicans, who are pro-life but pro-capital punishment? Or do you vote for the Democrats, who are against capital punishment but are pro-life or pro-choice, as found in the 2020 platforms on Democrats.org and GOP.com? How can you make that choice? For some, they say it comes down to voting for the lesser of two evils, as mentioned before. But shouldn't our leaders represent what people truly want, rather than the lesser evil? Now that we've discussed the problems with the two-party system, we can discuss the solution: third parties. The first step in solving the two-party problem is to learn about third parties. Google the different third parties, such as Libertarians or Green Party, and find the best fit for yourself. Past elections have shown that lower partisanship between major parties has given third-party candidates, such as Ross Perot, much more success, as a 1995 Smith College article explains. Voters disillusioned with the major parties can tip the scales with their support if they just take the time to really find a party that they believe in. The next step is to spread the word. Just tell people around you what you've found in these third parties. Tell them that there's another choice outside of the bipartisan system. And finally, once an election comes around, vote for their third party. This is the best way you can support third parties. With the solution in mind, let's see how this addresses the problems we discussed. Third parties prevent stalling by breaking up the dichotomy in the U.S. government. Issues such as the COVID stimulus package would no longer be a bipartisan argument, but an issue deliberated on by more than two views and passed on with less resistance. Voting for a third party allows a compromise in beliefs rather than a sacrifice. A 2018 Oxford University article details third parties bringing their policies up to a national level and helping those policies become part of the national policy. And finally, it gives Americans a choice outside of the two evils. After hearing the speech, you should be more inclined to vote for third-party candidates in future elections. Voting for third-party candidates can restore the values of the American people within the United States government and end the back-and-forth stall of progress the bipartisan system has created. The mainstream parties of the American political system continually insist now is not the time to vote for third parties. At the same time, they bar third parties from publicity through their control of the debate stage. For these parties, they intend that there will never be the time to vote for third parties. They are scared of third parties and their legitimate chance to upset the established power. In the coming years and coming elections, vote third parties to bring true progress to the United States. As you leave now, I implore you to look into these parties. You can find the Libertarian Party at www.lp.org. You can find the Green Party at www.gp.org. And you can find the Constitution Party at www.constitutionparty.com. Or look at any of the many other parties out there in the United States. They're just a Google search away. Go to their website, choose a party, and learn about them.